Coach, we got conference play starting up this weekend at Milwaukee and Green Bay. At the beginning of the year, you talked about wanting to learn some things and figure some things out during the non-conference play and even emphasize that more than wins. Well, you got 10 wins. Did you figure some stuff out during the non-conference?
Yeah, I think we did. As a team, I think we're continuing to get better. And I know we're not quite where we want to be yet, but the season's a long season, and it is a work in progress. But we're very pleased with the progress the team made during the non-conference play. I think they showed a lot of improvement in some areas, and I feel like we got to know them pretty well. And going into conference play, we feel like that's crucial that we know the team well.
What were some of those areas that they improved in?
Ball control, which was the big thing we were worried about last spring. I think our ball control has been much better, and it's getting better as it goes on. And a lot of that's evident by how well we're hitting right now. When we're in system, we feel like we have a very good offense, and so that's something that continues to be something we're going to work on and get better and better. But we do feel like we've made a big improvement in ball control.
I know a lot of the concern that you had was even mental, playing with confidence. Obviously 10 wins helps in that, but is the confidence level at an area where you feel comfortable with the team?
Well, it comes and goes, and that's just part of the game. I mean, there comes times when things start going wrong and you can see the confidence level in the players start to drop, and that's one thing we're working on with them still, is how to pull themselves out of that, because they're the ones that have to. And when we are playing confident, they play much better. And we are still working on making wise choices. Sometimes the best choice isn't always to hit the ball as hard as you can, depending on if you're imbalanced and what's going on in the game. And so that's something we're continuing to try to learn and get them to make better choices with what they do with balls when they're out of system.
You touched on this a little bit already, but the thing that really jumps out is the difference from 2011 to 2012. In addition to the wins, is just the efficiency on offense. Hitting almost 100 points better, and then on the other side, you're leading the conference in opponent hitting percentage. Just address those two areas if you could.
Well, I really do think that the offensive part of it is we passing a lot better. And you can tell the matches where we don't pass well, we're not as efficient. When we have a good pass and we have all our options, I think we're tough to defend because we have a lot of physical kids. When we get out of system, that's when it gets a little tougher on us, because then people can focus on one person. And I don't know if we have the personnel where we can just say, okay, this one person can win a match for us all by themselves. And so passing has been the biggest part of that. On the other end of it, holding people right now, we think that that's still a weakness of ours. We feel like we've improved our blocking a lot, but our defense is still not where we want it to be. And we know going into conference play, that's something we really have to get better at, because we want to win the long rallies. And right now we're not winning those.
You touched on it with the blocking, but the one group maybe that stands out too is the middle. It's just the jump that they've made. Jenna looks like a completely new player. Shannon looks like she's grown up a little bit, and Allie being a freshman. You just talk about the group of middles and incorporating them more into the offense and how they've kind of progressed from match 1 to 14. Yeah,
the thing we've tried to take advantage of is how fast some of those kids. So Jenna's very fast, Allie's very fast, and we're trying to take advantage of it. That's and we had a lot of middles, 6 middles on the roster, and we were able to move a couple of them outside, which has also helped our blocking. We've gotten bigger outside, and it's much easier to block a lot of balls as a middle if your outside blockers have some good size and set good blocks for you. So it's not necessarily just that Jenna's playing better or Allie's coming as a freshman and are lighting the world on fire. It's our outsides have also done a better job of blocking.
And then just, Missy had an unbelievable non-conference season. I know that you've talked about that she just had a couple of jaw-dropping moments. Just address, maybe what she's done really well, through the first 5-6 weeks of the season.
Yeah, actually it's her all-around game. We're not relying on her as much offensively, and that's something that kind of makes her mad. She wants the ball all the time, and that's what you want out of someone who you consider one of your primary players. She wants the ball all the time, and we're trying to be a little more diverse in our offense. But defensively, she has done a really good job this year playing defense and in more than one spot. With what we've done with our lineup, she's had to play a couple of different places in the back row, and she's done a very good job defensively. Passing, she's carrying a big load. and just playing hard. At Greensboro this weekend, she just played her heart out, and that was just a lot of fun to watch. And she's getting some help from her teammates.
And then just talk about this weekend a little bit, scouting report on maybe Milwaukee and Green Bay.
Well, I'm a little nervous about this weekend. Milwaukee, obviously, the returning defending champions, picked to win it again. I know they've struggled a little of late wins-loss-wise, but if you look at who they're playing, I don't think that's a big surprise. They're playing quality teams and competing with them. It's not like they're playing a good opponent and getting crushed. They're playing good opponents and they're in the match. So I know they're going to be very strong this weekend. They have 3 preseason all-conference kids. They're setter, a middle, and an outside, and they're big. They hit the ball well, and they're very disciplined in their blocking and their defense. Green Bay, watching them play on film, they're the same way. They've got great size. They have some kids that hit the ball really hard. Their Libros leading the conference in digs per game. And once again, they're very disciplined in their block and in their defense. And I think one of the hardest working teams that I've seen on film so far. They just really never let a ball drop without someone going after it. So both opponents, I think, are going to be very tough opponents and on the road. I think it'll give us a good feeling of where we are right now with the team and what we need to do as we continue into conference play.
If you could single out 1 or 2 things you have to do really well in order to pull out some wins, what would those be?
We definitely need to serve well, keep both teams out of system. They both have strong middles and strong outsides, and if you have to defend all of those, it can get tough. So serving well is, I think, a big key for us. And I also think passing for us on the other end. If we pass well and have multiple options all the time offensively and can side out, I think we can hang with them.